This has been fantastic, and huge thanks to Phil and Claire and Amanda, Ava, Karina, and Chris for their contributions there. It's really helped to get a sense of all of what's going on. There's a huge amount happening, and I think, Phil, as you said, a huge amount of possibility lies out ahead as well. This work's kind of funny work because each day we just have to say, and so we begin again. It doesn't kind of just go in plain cycles. It's messy, as you say, and the great thing about this morning is the emphasis on, and this is how I'm going to try and summarize what I've heard at least, and it's just a good faith attempt on my part to honor what I'm hearing. So I think I sort of feel I'm hearing a shift happening, or shifts actually, a number of them. And the first shift is away from just seeing people as needy, even though we recognize we all have needs, to really recognizing that everybody is needed, especially those that have been pushed to the margins, especially those whose voices are traditionally not heard for all kinds of reasons. So that idea that I'm needed, they can't do this without me, and that message that says you are needed and we cannot do this without you is really important. I remember being in Doncaster about 3, 4 years ago, and somebody stood up in a hall like you're in now, and they introduced themselves and they said, I've been clean for 9 months. And a dear friend of mine and Angela's, Glenn Butcher, Glenn just stood up and said, my friend, you've never been dirty. And the point he was trying to make there is there's so many people that we push to the edge that we turn into strangers instead of neighbors. But this morning, what you're talking about is doing something about that, not just building community with people who look like us and act like us and think like us, but people at the edges as well, creating that welcome. So from needy to needed. The second shift I heard this morning is that shift from wrong to strong. So actually beginning to start with this idea that instead of let's pick a problem and try to fix it, let's pick a passion and try to create it. Let's start with the strength of passion, the strength of concern, the strength of interest, and then see what might be possible from there. So from needy to needed, from wrong to strong, and from charity to solidarity. Karina, I think you said from charity to justice, which is even more powerful. So let's say from charity to solidarity and justice. And I think that's really important, that this isn't just about a few programs that create a little bit of relief from poverty. This is about changing the social order. It's about making sure that everybody has a good quality of life. Everybody flourishes. Everybody thrives. That all means all. And really, in a sense, this is a bit like a marathon, but we've got to run it to the rules of a relay race where we win only when the last person crosses the line. So there's an awful lot of passing the baton on and making sure that we include everybody's voice. But we also heard this morning a shift from how we think maybe about public services as delivering stuff to us, to really saying, actually, the better way to start things off is with discovery before delivery. We can't know what communities need until we respect and know what they have. We can never, ever help a community, and we'll never lift a community up by putting a community down. So discovering the strengths, the passions that community have, and being humble to listen to what it is they believe are the priorities and how they want to take those forward. And so the final shift, I think, is the shift from me to we. It's the shift that reminds us, all of us actually, that there are times in our lives when we feel isolated and we feel alone. And Claire, you said it very beautifully. And when that gets changed, when there are others around us that miss us on the days we don't show up, that we matter to and that matter to us across all ages, when we're enough for them and they're enough for us, and we know we'll figure it out with creativity, and we know that there are agencies that have our back, that's when the good life becomes possible, I think. We are enough together. And that's what life is. It's trying to figure out how that makes sense. There's an Irish playwright, Samuel Beckett, who says, "You're on earth. There is no cure for that. But there is community, and that's what you're building." So thank you so much for allowing me to be a fly on the wall this morning. I feel my heart is full as I head to the airport. And so thank you. And keep up what you're doing, because community at the end of the day is something that we can all do. And my late father used to say, if something is worth doing, it's worth doing badly. So we don't have to do this perfectly. We just have to try and do it authentically. So thank you and take care. Go well.
Thank you very much, Cormac.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.